these prices that are coming down right now, the Rolex watch market, the luxury watch market, you wonder what this has to do with? Well, what if we start seeing prices come down? And I say jets, private jets and chartered jets are really an awesome indicator of when you've had your getting ready to move into a recession, is when you see the decline of usage of hours and more products come on the market for sale, both in terms of aircraft and also in terms of availability of charter flights. The other thing is look at luxury anything. Okay, I see luxury watches that have been on an absolute scream for the last 8 years. They've come off their highs. And so my case is that instead of having peak energy, what we have today is actually peak demand. I don't need a new house. I don't need another car. I don't need another plane. I don't need, or can I maintain another girlfriend, wife, or mistress? I don't need another villa. I mean, these are very expensive to maintain, both in money, but also attention units. As you get to be 50, 60 years old, you become really wealthy. Why would you want to deal with a bunch of noise, problems? I mean, just the yard issue that I've had to deal with in the last 2 months.
Is peak demand the same as peak consumption? Is that the same concept?
Yes. We're just choking on shit, right?
So what does that mean though? So if you're saying we're choking on stuff, that means like have we exhausted the amount of income that we can use? Or we have so much income, we can't buy anything else?
Well, I think that what I'm saying is I don't think Billy Bob actually sets the market. I think it's the very top of the market that sets the market. So I am talking about the top 10% of the planet. It is those people that are at peak consumption. And it is those people that drive market. So I'm just saying, I don't think anyone's going to have another allocation to NVIDIA more, another allocation to equities, another allocation to, they may have different allocations to equities, but I suspect they're going to move from IBM to some other stock, maybe Coinbase or something. I think they have all the watches they need, all the homes they need, all the lawyers they need, all the private equity businesses, all the real estate, dude, corporate, commercial, and resi. Probably even have all the land they need. They probably got enough gold, silver, and cash sitting in their vaults in their homes. How much more property can you buy in Chelsea to hide your money from a sovereign into London, right? How many South Americans, Chinese, South Koreans, Russians, oligarchs, how much more property can they buy in London to hide from their king? That's getting pretty saturated. I think that's actually at saturation level. And you have then all the massive mutual funds and investment banks that are chocked full of real estate at every level and equities at every level. So I look at Bitcoin and I go, wow, that's the only thing on this planet the super wealthy don't have. This is my case for Bitcoin. It's so uncomplicated. The allocation to super wealthy people, first off, the allocation of Bitcoin across the planet is less than 0.5%. Okay, it's going to 3 to 5, but right now it's at 0.5%. And so when I see something like Bitcoin, I'm like, this is the only thing a guy like my brother doesn't have. Okay, now he'll spend an equivalent of 1,000 Bitcoin on an airplane. In fact, Grant bought an airplane 4 years ago, probably cost him 4,000 Bitcoin. Okay, 4,000 Bitcoin. What is that worth today? $250 million?
Yeah.
Okay, and there were 6,000 $50 million jets sold in the last 3 or 4 years. Each one of them are worth 1,000 Bitcoin. These people trade these planes every 3 or 4 years because they want the new one. So I don't think people understand one, how much money there is trapped in this 10%, and how much of that's already allocated to almost every investment vehicle available from the 20th century. And that's my bull case for Bitcoin.
So with peak oil, the argument was that all the cheap oil was gone and that we hit the max amount of supply. But technology obviously solved that problem, right?
Well, he didn't say that we wouldn't find any more oil. What he said was, hey, the next piece might be $200, right? I mean, we'll always be able to find it. Is it price sensitive? Now, funny enough, because this whole Bitcoin revolution, I think we're going to find that energy prices are going to collapse further. I would predict in 2 or 3 years, crude oil will be $50-$60, and that's going to be the number. And that nat gas is going to be $2, and not much more. And that we may even see dislocations of some energy that used to find its way into the market that now is not finding its way to hubs. It's actually being harvested at the wellhead. This is a massive, massive shift change for energy. That you could create demand at the wellhead is a monster move, and it will unlock, I suspect, 20% on top of what we already have. So if we're selling 118 billion cubic feet every day in this country, I think you're going to have another 20 billion cubic feet. Imagine that, 20 billion cubic feet a day, priced at $1 that can mine Bitcoin.
Is it fair to say it's technology that made Jurgen wrong?
Yes. And I think he did not understand max consumption. But technology, everyone's getting wrong, dude. So his whole thesis, even he wrote another book after the fracking came about, and he suggested, and I might be wrong on this, but when they started fracking, he even built the case that it would accelerate the peak supply. That is not. None of this has happened now.